So just like everybody else, I'm definitely disappointed in what I saw last night. What's good in the hood, family? You are listening to a Trip to India podcast, and for today's episode, I cannot help myself. I just had to please add my 2 cents to this hot mess of a presidential debate that just happened last night, Tuesday, September 29th. So last night on YouTube, because I do not pay for cable, no, I definitely tuned in live to the presidential debate, and I can definitely tell you I was in this middle of between of being surprised and not surprised at the same time. I definitely expected more. I thought I was going to get some type of answers from especially President Donald J. Trump on what he will be doing for us in the next 4 years if he does remain in office. I also wanted to know what was Joe Biden's plan because it hasn't been really clear. So I really was looking forward to this debate to give me some type of clarity. So lately I've been trying to do my due diligence on making sure that I can be just as informed and prepared when I go to the polls. Because like many, I get there and I know everyone tells us to vote, but as soon as I get to the poll, I look at all the selections and I am just lost. I don't recognize the names and I don't understand the terminology that I don't understand the rhetoric when it comes to the laws. And sometimes I'm not, I just don't feel as informed and confident as I would like. So I've been trying my very best to do as much research as I can this process. So the presidential debate was moderated by Chris Wallace, and God bless his soul because he had a lot to deal with in trying to at least get the questions out and allowing each candidate to be able to speak without being uninterrupted. So I have my notes just in case y'all wonder why I keep looking down. So the 6 segments that he went over was the Supreme Court in regards of if Donald Trump should have the authority to fill in or appoint Amy Barrett, or if they should wait. COVID-19, economic recovery, race, climate change, and if they believe that this is a fair election. I was definitely annoyed from the beginning. Right out the gate, we barely got any questions answered. I believe Trump was the first one that he started off with asking about the Supreme Court justice appointments. So, or appointee, please somebody in the comments correct me on my verbiage. Like I said, I'm not an expert and I'm trying to inform myself, so bear with me. So the real question was just, do they believe that he can, that it's constitutional for him to be able to appoint this Supreme Court justice while there's an election going on? Donald Trump believes that because he is in office that he has the right and that the people have already voted in 2016 and he should have the right. Now the twist to all of this is because back in 2016, 9 months before the election, Obama had the chance to also appoint a Supreme Court justice, but it was denied by the Senate because they believe that the public should have the option to choose on who the next president will be, so that president will be able to appoint the Supreme Court justice. So VP Joe Biden's side, his rebuttal was basically just that. We're in the middle of an election, so he believes that it's unconstitutional and unfair, and that the next, whoever wins, the victor should be able to have that privilege on appointing the Supreme Court justice. Now this is where it got a little weird and annoying to me because they briefly talked about it. They didn't expand on the why. It wasn't, if you did not know, like I've been trying to follow lately, if you did not know about what happened with the previous President Obama, then you wouldn't understand why this is a topic that they'll be talking about. But they quickly overtalked each other and quickly rambled on about coronavirus when that was just not the question at hand. So that was the gist for that part. Then they got into coronavirus and basically on who's to blame or how they're going to be able to combat it. Right out the gate, Joe Biden had pointed out his blame to Donald Trump, saying that because of him and how he downplayed it with the American people, that he is responsible for the 200,000 and counting deaths that we've gained this year due to coronavirus, and over 7 million cases that have been contracted from the coronavirus. Donald Trump obviously says that he closed the country early, so therefore even if he downplayed it, he still saved way more lives than he believed that Joe Biden would. He also blamed fake news. And he has said that he is weeks away from a vaccine. Now, that was the big part of this discussion when it came to the coronavirus. Joe Biden was trying to say that he's lying to the people about how soon that he'll be able to get the vaccine out. And also sticking to his guns that he is definitely at fault and responsible for the many deaths that have happened due to his negligence and openness to the public on not wanting to wear a mask, and that turned into something else as well. Donald Trump taunting Joe Biden about wearing a mask more frequently, which was very weird because as we all have been told, not saying that we know this, but as we've all been told, that masks are a great help at combating the coronavirus. Then they got into some name calling. So we move on to the economy and both of their plans on the recovery from coronavirus. Donald Trump says that he doesn't want to shut down the country again. He believes that that's just the worst option. He says that the Democratic cities and states that are still currently shut down are only doing so for political reasons, which is against him. And Joe Biden rebuts that you can't fix the economy until you fix the coronavirus. He also said that since the coronavirus, that millionaires and billionaires have profited and the working class has suffered. And so then they go on to say, well, Trump says that the people don't really want to be closed down, that they want their schools and work and basically the country to be open. And to be honest, I just have to, add my 2 cents in on here. First of all, yes, I do want this, I do want to go back to normal. And when I say normal, I just mean I want to be able to go out and not have to worry about wearing a mask and contracting a virus, basically. But that does not mean that I'm willing to risk my health just because I want to be out. And to add fuel to the fire, Trump brags about how he brought back football in the Big Ten Conference, which is in the Midwest. Yeah, that is not important, and that has nothing to do with the economy. We really wanted to know what the plan was. What is each of their economic plan? Joe Biden was able to squeeze in some words about how he has this plan on switching to a cleaner economy, which would create, in his words, over 7 million jobs and a $1 trillion economic growth. He wants to make sure that everyone buys American and that we switch to cleaner energy sources. So to eliminate oil and coal altogether by 2035. Joe Biden also said that he is willing to increase the corporate tax to 28% instead of where it's currently at 21%. Donald Trump rebuts that if he does in fact increase the corporate tax, that it will harm the economy and it will send businesses away and off of American soil. He did not present what his economic plan was, at least I did not catch it, but he did manage to say that he believed that President Obama before him had a slower recovery from the recession that they were recovering from at the time. So they move on to the dreaded conversation about race. Now, I am a black woman, so this is one of my main things that I wanted to hear. I wanted to know, what are either one of them going to do for the black community? I have not heard not one policy be presented to the Black community about what they're going to do to help against police brutality. So the moderator, Chris Wallace, he asked, why should voters trust them when it comes to race? So Biden, to be honest, to me, he fell short a little bit on this side. He did acknowledge, though, that we do need, and when I say we, I mean Black Americans, that we do need equity and that there are systemic racial disparities in this country. He brought up how Donald Trump used tear gas to move the protesters from in front of the White House just so he could do a photo op in front of the church with holding the Bible. He also said that Trump doesn't want to unite, that he only wants to divide. So Donald Trump did point out and bring up Joe Biden's past on how he created the crime bill in 1994. I will say Joe Biden did not respond. He did not answer back to that. But I do remember in the Democratic presidential debates that all the candidates that he was up against all put him to the fire about the crime bill. And he said that he regretted them. But he did not bring that up and did not answer that at this debate on Tuesday. Donald Trump also said that he has let a lot of people out of jail, and then quickly brought up law and order and how he has law enforcement on his side. My problem with this is there are a million different disparities that Black people go through in this country, and it is not only police brutality. Yes, in lieu of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, that is our focus right now because we can only do one thing at a time, but police brutality isn't the end-all be-all to all African American problems. We need jobs. Healthcare sucks. We are dying at the hands of doctors, especially Black women, at a higher rate for unknown reasons. And I think that it's just unfair to belittle us to only talk about this one problem that we have, which is a huge major problem. But that's not the only problem that we have, and you don't have a policy. Neither one of them told me, at least. I don't think I got anything from either one of them about what they're planning on doing for the Black community. Also, this is where I'm pretty sure by this time you have seen a million memes already of how Donald Trump was asked just a simple question on if he would condemn white supremacists. The moderator made it even, like, way easier for the dude by just saying white supremacists. Just the overall thing, just condemn white supremacists. And for some reason, it was just hard for Donald Trump to be able to comprehend. And he keeps asking, what group, what group, what group? Okay. And I quote, Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. What the hell does stand back and stand by mean? That is not condemning at all. But by this time we're in the middle and we barely got any questions answered. So the moderator asked about their records. Donald Trump claimed that out of 47 years of being in Congress that Joe Biden hasn't done a damn thing for us. He says that no other president has accomplished what he's accomplished ever in U.S. history. He also says that before the coronavirus that he had the lowest percentage of unemployment. Also says that he has rebuilt the military and NASA, which is true. I did see the rockets go up. Haven't seen that ever in my life, I think. He said he has been fixing the Veterans Administration. Also saying that while he has been in office, that he has appointed over 300 circuit judges, and hopefully, if given the chance, 3 Supreme Court justices. And that because President Obama had left so many, which was over 128 openings in the courts, that proves already that they were unfit as presidents anyway. The only part that I heard from Biden on what he claimed his record was is that he helped fix the recession and that he's the only one that's willing to go head to head with Putin. He also clapped back at Donald Trump and was like that ever since Donald Trump that the U.S. has become weaker, more violent, and more divided under Trump. This is also where it got really nasty. This is when Donald Trump ended up making a reference calling Joe Biden's son a cokehead, and thank God Joe Biden was able to not lose his cool. I know he wanted to, and it definitely ruffled his feathers a little. But this is what I mean when I say that this was a hot mess. Like, we are supposed to be getting answers on what you're going to do, what you have done, and you want to go back and forth and bring up people's children. So that was just not entertaining at all. It was annoying. I'm not getting no answers. I want to be an informed voter, and you are ripping me from that right. Another one of my major concerns that I had for this debate that I wanted more clarity on was climate change, because I've also been seeing things on the news about how Donald Trump has been denying science as a whole, as it being credible on knowing what climate change really is. Donald Trump says that he confidently got out of the Paris Accord, which was supposed to be this coalition where we are moving in partnership with other countries on becoming cleaner, on reducing our pollution in the world. He was asked about the California wildfires, and he basically denied any, well, he said to an extent that global warming basically contributed to what is rapidly happening in California with the wildfires, but that really we need better forest management and that this would never happen. That's what he said. And so he does say that he wants clean air and clean water, but I'm not really sure on how he's going to be able to do that, because he didn't really say. He said he repealed the Clean Air Act because that the cost of cars and other renewable energy would be extremely high, and that would throw off the economy, basically. And then Biden presented a plan, actually. Finally got an answer about something. He presented a plan which was very similar to his economic plan, and it was called the Biden plan, which Donald Trump kept calling the Green New Deal, which Biden said isn't his at all. So he claims that he can make this renewable energy be just as cheap as coal and oil, and that by building the economy to produce 4 million weatherized homes, and homes that will basically use renewable energy, he believes that by 2035 that we'll be able to get to a net zero carbon footprint. He also said that if people with homes wanted to weatherize their homes to help combat with different storms like hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff like that, that they will have a tax incentive for that as well. Basically, he believes that global warming is real, and that he is willing to pull us back into the Paris Accord, which Donald Trump confidently said that he pulled us out because it just didn't make sense, I guess. Finally, at the end, the moderator asked if they are both confident that this election, because it will be an increase of mail-in ballots, that it will be a fair election. Biden spoke first, and he said that there was no evidence that cheating will be involved in mail-in ballots. He wants to ensure that the polls are trustworthy. He says that really the real goal is that Donald Trump doesn't want people to vote, and he's trying to deter people to vote in the first place. Donald Trump says that mail-in ballots are a disaster, that there's frauds. He doesn't agree with the deadline. I'm confused on that as well. So these are valid questions. I also am a little skeptical about mail-in ballots, not because I don't believe that they don't work, but I just know I personally want to go in and, you know, cast my ballot. But it was also pointed out that since the Civil War, that military in particular has been the one group that has routinely sent in their ballots in mail, and never before has anyone ever said that there was cheating involved in that. Now, I am young, I am 26, but I do vaguely remember something about Florida with Bush in the election. correct me if I'm wrong. Please comment underneath and clarify, sister, because I do remember something about ballots missing in Florida, something like that. So I don't think this is the first time anybody has criticized mail-in voting. But maybe because it's going to be an increase, this is why Donald Trump wants to run on the fact that there's potential fraud that can happen. Donald Trump encouraged his supporters to watch very closely at the polls to make sure that it is fair, which can go a million different ways. That was basically the whole gist of the debates. I tried to do my best to get the points that I was able to hear and understand, so that I can be able to shed this information to those of you who either missed it or had a hard time with understanding what was going on. I'm just like you. I'm just now trying to inform myself and do my due diligence so I can be able to make the best decision that works for me. I don't care if you vote for Trump. I don't care if you vote for Biden. I'm personally voting for Biden. But that's because I have not seen any significant improvement in my life in particular when it comes to President Trump. Now that I am informing myself, I am aware that it doesn't stop at voting. Just because I cast my ballot and I actually get who I want in office, that's the end all be all. I have to do my part and make sure that I know what's going on within my local communities, because that's what's going to affect me first, and put pressure on the people that I do elect in this election to do what I want them to do. So I just encourage everybody else, and I hope that you all feel just as inspired as me. Might not have to be enthusiastic about it, but just feel inspired as me to at least become more involved and know what's going on within our government, because as we can see, it is affecting our lives more and more each day. I am pledging to do my due diligence on making sure that I'm informed and I'm making the best decision, so we won't be in this same situation with this same type of government, so we can build a better future that is more accommodating, more comfortable, more open and accepting to people of all different backgrounds. So that was my show. Thank you for listening to A Trip to India podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram. I have made it easier. It is A Trip to India podcast on Instagram. Amen. And then if you follow me on Twitter, it is at A Trip, the number 2, India with 2 A's, and that's it. Thank you for listening and rocking with me throughout all of this. I hope that I helped at least give you some type of clarity. If not, it's understandable, because I was also feeling the same way at the end of this debate as well. But feel free, like I said, comment below on different things you would like for me to talk about, different concerns, different topics. I'm all in. But yeah, until next time.